Langley, may I present Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
Langley?
Mr. Holmes, I'm leaving this afternoon on a boat train for the continent. I would like you and Dr. Watson to accompany me.
A mystery, Mrs. Langley, or a medical problem?
Both, Mr. Holmes. I've received a letter from my niece begging me to go to her. She says she's written to me twice before, but this is the first letter I've received since her sister died 2 months ago.
How did her sister die, Mrs. Langley?
The official verdict was that she was frightened to death.
How old was she, Mrs. Langley?
She would have been 21 next month.
And your niece who wrote the letter?
They were identical twins.
Where does she live, Mrs. Langley?
She lives in Bavaria with her stepfather, the Count von Lenzburg. Do you know the Count, Mr. Holmes?
I've heard of his art collection. He married your sister.
Yes. She died 10 years ago. Please come, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson.
Unfortunately, Mrs. Langley, I have pressing business here in London. We could perhaps join you in a few days' time.
Please try. I should have gone myself yesterday, but I was delayed by a fire in my home and then an accident with my carriage. I don't know who else to turn to.
We'll try, Mrs. Langley.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Do you think it possible for a young, healthy girl to die of fright, Dr. Watson?
Well, as you say, Mrs. Langley, it could either be a medical question or a mystery. What is this important business you were talking about, Holmes?
No urgent business, Watson.
You mean you're not interested?
More than interested, Watson. I just thought it best that Mrs. Langley should leave here looking disappointed rather than pleased and relieved.
Why?
Because that cabbie interests me, too.
Cabbie? What's so special about that cabbie?
He's turned down 2 customers in the last few minutes.
Good Lord, Holmes, you find that cabbie more interesting than Mrs. Langley's niece?
Not more interesting, Watson. Just as interesting. Just as interesting as a fire in Mrs. Langley's home, an accident to her carriage, and a healthy young girl who dies of fright. Yes, Watson. I find it just as interesting.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I'm so pleased you could come.
Fortunately, Mrs. Langley, my business in London was completed earlier than expected.
I'm so relieved to see you.
And how is your niece?
She's very nervous, Dr. Watson. Very tense and frightened. But between us, I think we can make her better. I'm sure. Let me introduce you to her and to the Count.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, your health. If there is anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
You're very kind.
I know my stepdaughter has been nervous, and I'm pleased that you could come, Dr. Watson. Mr. Holmes, do you ever hunt?
In a manner of speaking, Count.
Yes, of course. This is a Rembrandt, of course. One of 2 that have been in my family for generations. The other is in my study. You must look at them both at your leisure.
Thank you.
This is a rare example of Meissen. It was presented to my family over 100 years ago. is only part of the Burgess triptych.
Ah, yes. Yes, two of them were lost in a fire, I believe.
Yes, you are very knowledgeable, Mr. Holmes. I have no sentimental attachment to it. Gentlemen, would you please excuse me?
Certainly.
The house is yours.
You're most kind. Well, the Count may be a connoisseur of paintings, but I think he's wrong about the Ming porcelain.
Really?
I'm no expert. And of course I may be wrong.
A Rembrandt's not a Rembrandt.
It's not.
I'm not an expert either, Watson. We may both be wrong.
I've examined Miss Stoner thoroughly. Physically, she's a very healthy young woman, but I find that she is deeply fatigued through lack of sleep.
Why can't you sleep, Miss Stoner?
Because I'm afraid that what happened to my sister Julia may happen to me.
Tell us what did happen to your sister Julia.
Well, 3 months ago, she began to hear noises in the night.
What kind of noises?
A strange whistle. It woke her time after time, and then she couldn't sleep again.
Why not?
She was afraid.
Did you hear the sounds that your sister heard?
Not then. No.
But you hear the whistle now.
Yes.
I believe those whistling sounds are made by gypsies out with their dogs.
Are there gypsies round here?
I've seen them camped near here several times.
Do they cause any trouble?
From time to time. The Count has a large dog to keep them out of the grounds.
Miss Stoner, can you tell us about the night your sister died?
I was awakened about 3 o'clock in the morning by a hideous scream. I rushed to Julia's room. She unlocked the door and staggered out and just collapsed and died in my arms.
And what did she say, Miss Stoner? What did she say before she died?
Nothing. Nothing that made any sense. Just something about a band. A Speckled band.
Gentlemen, I see you have located Lucifer.
Lucifer?
My god dog.
He's a handsome animal.
Yes, he is. But savage.
I have heard it said that you once collected rare animals as well as paintings.
In my youth, I traveled widely in the East and in Africa.
But not anymore.
No, Lucifer here these days has nothing.
Your appearance has worked wonders, Dr. Watson. Helen is sleeping like a baby.
Have you locked her door?
Yes.
Good, good. We must see that nothing disturbs her. Gentlemen, I'm afraid I must leave you for a moment. Lucifer has broken loose.
He'll kill someone.
There's no need to be alarmed. I'll get him back. Excuse me.
Stop shouting. Helen's only just managed to get to sleep.
Mrs. Langley, you must get your niece out of bed at once.
What?
Wake her up and take her to your sitting room immediately.
Well,
Immediately, please. Please. Now, hurry, please.
Now. Come on, hurry, hurry.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Aunt Dora, may I go back to bed now?
Not yet. I shall need to search your room first.
Listen, did you hear that? There, do you hear it? You see, I wasn't imagining it.
This is the first time that anyone other than yourself has heard this sound.
Yes, except my sister.
So here you all are. Well, my dear, you can sleep easily now. If there was a prowler about, we have certainly scared him away. What's that?
That's the whistle. The one I've been telling you about.
I'm sorry I didn't believe you, Helen.
Holmes, you searched every inch of this room.
Yes. And now I know how Miss Julia Stoner was murdered.
But how was she murdered? I don't understand.
Yes, you do. You've seen all the evidence. Just remember, Watson, it's not only dogs that respond to their master's call. Mrs. Langley, I wonder if you would tell me the terms of your sister's will.
Well, in the circumstances, the twins' mother left a very large sum of money, Mr. Holmes. And for the past 12 years, it's been held in trust.
With the income accumulating?
Yes,
And in due course, the inheritance was to pass to the children.
yes. And then when Julia died, her share went on to Helen. And then Helen would inherit the entire estate when she's 21.
In a month's time.
Yes.
And if both girls were to die before the age of 21?
Well, then the fortune would go to the Count.
Mrs. Langley, if we are to save Miss Stoner's life, it is essential that you follow my instructions exactly. Will you both agree to that?
Yes?
Good. Then tonight, Dr. Watson and I must occupy Miss Stoner's bedroom. And she, of course, must share your room. Can that be arranged in secrecy?
Of course.
Watson, you must tell the Count that you have prepared a strong sleeping draught and given it to his stepdaughter and locked her safely in her room.
I'll do it now.
Turn down the lamp, Watson. And please sit in the chair.
What shall I do now?
Watch the bell rope.
Is that all?
Yes. Just watch the bell rope and don't take your eyes off it, not even for 1 second.
And what shall you be doing?
I shall be watching it too.
Yes, Holmes.
Don't move.
Dear God, Holmes, are you all right?
Mercifully, Watson, yes. Yes, I am.
Where's the snake? Did you kill it?
No, I didn't kill it, but I hurt it. Hurt it.
Holmes, do you realize what you've done? It can now be more dangerous than ever it's been before.
I'm sorry, Watson. I suppose we'll just have to think of the case of the Speckled band as only partially successful.
Come in.
A messenger delivered this parcel for you. For both of you. It's addressed to both of you. It says, Dr. John Watson and Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I'll open it for you.
Will you please open it for us, Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, there's a letter. Must be very nice.
It's from Helen Stoner in Bavaria. Please accept this as a small token of my deep appreciation and affection, Helen Stoner.
It's a collector's item.